The Polish Ministry of Climate has begun preliminary work on changes to the atomic energy law to adapt it to the specific features of small modular reactors. Deputy Minister of Climate Adam Gwiborz-Czetwertyński said the project is expected to be completed within a few months. The changes aim to address the requirements of SMRs and establish a special unit to deal with them within the Polish Nuclear Regulatory Authority. Safety requirements will be the same for both small and large reactors, with no size-based exceptions granted.
And that final story in our quickfire round, of course, relating to atomic power and the adoption also of SMRs, is the subject of our interview this evening. I'm joined by Professor Krzysztof Zęba of Gdańsk University of Technology. Professor Zęba.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. First of all, Poland has come rather late to the party of nuclear power. Maybe you could tell us, first of all, why that happened.
Well, that's a funny question, actually, that you asked me, because I will give you just one fun fact. My father was actually involved in the construction of the first nuclear power plant in Poland, the one in Żarnowiec that was actually dropped out, right? So I have some family ties to the topic. Yes, certainly we come late for this party, that's for sure. And nuclear power stations, power plants, are important for our energy mix. So that is a component that we lack. And no doubt we should go in this direction. The problem is probably that this is a long-term investment, those traditional, conventional nuclear reactors. And it was a problem of all the governments. I mean, politicians are governed by short-term visions from elections to elections. So this is like 4 years, and 4 years, when it comes to such project, close to nothing, actually, right? So SMRs may be a game changer here. They may be.
They may be. They may be, of course, because it's new technology. Now, maybe one of the advantages of Poland being late to that party is perhaps that they've avoided some of the mistakes and maybe some of the costly mistakes along the way. Will SMRs, bearing in mind they're still pretty cutting edge in terms of the technology, will they avoid technical errors? Can anybody say that?
Well, these are two issues here. The first one is we need to remember that nuclear power plants are generally very safe. I mean, we do all remember Chernobyl and later Fukushima. But these are not that huge disasters when you compare it with the scale of electricity generation from all nuclear plants around the world. So this is basically very safe. That's one thing. The other thing about those small modular reactors, I'm not sure if you realize, but actually until 2020, there was not a single such reactor in operation, right? There is a nice article on that published in 2019 saying we don't have them yet, right? Nowadays, we do have some of them. They're operating in China, in Russia, as far as I remember. The technology is not entirely new because the basic physical principle is the same. with new technologies, we are simply able to scale down the reactors. And that has significant consequences because on one hand, the production, the construction of this kind of nuclear plant is simply shorter and easier. But on the other hand, that requires significant economies of scale. I mean, if those small modular reactors are to be competitive, they need to be produced in big numbers. And as far as I know, there is about 80 something such reactors under construction in like 19 countries. So this is kind of new technology indeed.
Well, it's certainly exciting technology, and there are industrial groups behind some of these projects. Do you think that it will be primarily for industrial groups? Maybe for KGHM, the copper plant is also planning something like that, or will we see it also at the edge of large agglomerations? I saw there was an advert at the end of my street praising SMR technology as the technology of the future. Should I kind of imagine it taking place its place at the end of my street as well?
Well, just take it with a grain of salt. Okay, I would be kind of careful here because, you know, we have many hypes. We've got many situations when we want some fairy tale to become our reality. It's just good to remember our hopes about shale gas in Poland, right? And it didn't work out as we thought, as we hoped. When it comes to SMR technology, you know, I had a look at some report that was a report produced by a Polish Economic Institute, I believe, and they say, well, the majority of experts believe that this technology will be absolutely crucial and extremely important for energetic transformation in Poland. But if you look deeper, this is just 53% of their experts that took part in the 2-round Delphi method research. Not going into scientific details, the Delphi method is a good method, recognized by scientists, belongs to qualitative methods. But, you know, in this method, having 53% of experts saying something, well, this is formally, this is majority.
Right.
But that's not strong, okay? That's not a fully representative quantitative method. So I would be careful here. I would really be careful.
So like the cat adverts, the cat food adverts, you want to see 9 out of 10 cats preferring this technology. I suppose maybe that would be better. Just finally, on this point, who's going to pay for it? Is it going to be the EU in the end?
It's going to be us, the society, obviously.
Right. Okay. So we'll get it in our bill one way or the other.
That's right.
Well, Krzysztof Zęba, professor at Gdańsk University of Technology, son of one of the first nuclear scientists. We heard that here today. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next up is our social media review.